Hello, Evergreen. Hope you guys are doing great. Derek Schaefer here. Going to go over Matthew 25. A little update with our family. With everything going on, we're staying healthy. We're working. My wife is at home with the kids and soldiering through that. But overall, we're doing great. I hope you guys are doing the same. So Matthew 25 is what we'll be going over. A little to preference it. 24 Matthew 24 ends with this kind of cliffhanger ending of the thought of gnashing of teeth and weeping to those that aren't ready for the coming of the Lord. And so 25 picks up off of that and continues that sermon or speech to on the Mount of Olives that Jesus is doing. And continues with that. He leads 25, starts 25 off with the parable of the the maidservants and the bridegroom. And so he starts off by letting us know in verse 3 and 5 those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. So he letting us know here that the bridegroom is coming, Christ is coming, be prepared. We see half of them are prepared and half of them aren't. Half of them bring oil, half of them don't. And this is that continuation of the theme of watching, being prepared, being aware. But we see that some are and some aren't. And in this delay, we see that the ones that are prepared aren't worrying. They're not anxiety ridden. They sleep also. They rest also, but they rest prepared, while the other ones rest unprepared. And so when the bridegroom comes, we see that that they aren't ready, and the Son of Man comes, and the bridegroom comes, and they're not prepared. They're left scrounging and trying to find this oil to keep their lamps lit, but it's too late. And in fact, the Lord basically tells them, you're too late, and you're not ready. So he moves on then to the parable of talents. Found some cool information out. Talents, it said, is about 6,000 days of wages. So we see kind of one given a ton of talents, which the total number, I might need to be correct, I think was 5 was the most. 5, 2, and 1. So we got one given 5, given a ton of talent, one given a little bit, and one given just, kind of the bare minimum. The one with the ton does something with it, barters with it, gains more, uses his talent. Middle one does the same, but we see the last one just buries talent. Again, not using what he's given, not prepared. And I like that toward the bottom here, it in verse 26 through 29, but his Lord answered and said to him, "You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I would reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed." So they knew in getting these talents and given this ability shown as money, but given this, they knew the Lord was coming back to judge. He was coming back to get back and see, what they had done and take that. And he wasn't. In fact, he just buried it. He even says you could have just taken it to the bank and gained interest, but you didn't even do that. You buried it in the ground and, didn't even water it in any way, shape, or form, literally or figuratively. And so, we're called to use these talents, not bury them, not sit on them. Again, rest in it. Don't worry about it. He's coming, but then to use it and grow what we're given. He ends the chapter with a judge saying that he's going to judge the nations. He calls us to be like sheep, which are, they gather, they're gentle, they're comforting, their fur is soft. Everything about them is very timid yet loving. And he compares his followers to the sheep, and the ones that aren't ready are the goats. The ones that are stubborn, they're independent. Goats are very kind of independent, and they're rigid. They're kind of a rigid animal. They will bite you. I've been bitten by a goat, so the contrast you can see where we're supposed to be And then he even calls us and gives us, as he gives us a warning to watch, and then a warning to kind of to grow what we're given, and then he calls and kind of gives us what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to grow. And he says in verse 35, I believe, yes, 35, 36, he lets them know that for the people that he compares to goats, or those who weren't ready or didn't use their talents, he says, for I was hungry, or sorry, the people that did, for I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. And so we can see that though we don't know the hour, we need to be ready. And though we're given these talents and how we're supposed to use them and what we're supposed to do, we don't sometimes exactly know, but we need to use them. We don't need to bury them. We need to go out and take that risk that the servants in the parable did, and trade and try to build on what we're given. And then he will be back to judge. And we're called to do these things, to give, to feed, to go to those that are less fortunate, to go to those that haven't maybe seen the Lord, that are stuck in struggle, and spread the word. So especially in these times, I hope everyone's, keeping the anxiety as low as they possibly can, knowing that the Lord will come again when we don't know, but we always need to be prepared, always need to be growing. And I can't wait to meet and start to do that with everyone again. But until then, we'll keep doing these. Keep watching on the TV to the streams, and I just hope everyone's doing good, and can't wait to see you guys.